Next step is to land our rover on Eve. Oh, you need to just that one. That will be the Questor Mark II, named in honor of a Stream Friends gag. Alright, so the fun part of this is better atmospheres. Makes it very hard to see what the surface is on Eve, and can make it rather difficult to pick a good landing spot. Because I think, yeah, it looks like there's just a bunch of ocean here. So I don't really know where to aim for. I guess let's do another pass around the planet and see if we can't get a better lineup on the other side. This area here looks pretty good. Yeah, that seems the most promising on this particular inclination. Let's fast forward just a little bit more. Alright, and we'll start our descent burn here, I think. So we're looking for the red X will tell us where we're going to land once we dip our orbit into the atmosphere here. And this time everything's staged properly, so I do have at least one. I do have my orbital maneuvering engine. The last attempt at sending this particular ship design anywhere did not go particularly well at this stage, and they had to ditch this entire tank and the engine that was attached to it. That was is available as a highlight on my channel. That would be the Questor landing on Duna. Goes through a nice little aerobraking maneuver and ditches the... lots of on-the-fly fuel moving around. It was pretty humorous for me, anyway. Get a good feel for how I react to emergency situations in Kerbal Space Program, and good practice for the upcoming hard mode in the next version. Here we are. No, I don't need pressure data, I need temperature data. I know there's a thermometer on this rover somewhere. That it? That is it! View data? Oh, go ahead and transmit that. Plenty of power. That was a fun stream. I'm still not entirely sure why, but despite the fact that I was playing fairly popular music the entire time, well, relatively popular, old music mostly, and the Buffy soundtrack to the musical episode there, which was still stuck in my head, by the way. None of that stream got muted, so I cut it up into highlights and even uploaded it to, did I upload it to YouTube? It might be up on YouTube. I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, tons and tons of music, and for some reason Twitch just ignored it all entirely. I guess maybe they just don't care about The Who or Buffy music. Not sure there. I'm sure it'll get caught eventually. But I was not feeling in the mood to talk that night, so... We will save that, just in case we can't get better mystery goo deeper in the atmosphere. We are just about to enter the Eve atmosphere for the first time. This is the Venus analog in this particular game, though it does not have the same really horrible effects on your spacecraft that Venus has on actual spacecraft. The one big good lander that Russia got down on the ground on Venus just basically got destroyed within a few minutes, but it sent back a couple pictures first. Tis nothing but a pile of molten metal right now, probably been buried by active volcano flows. Venus is not a fun place to hang out. And this little effect here is, this is just a mark. This is a 2.5 meter to 1.25 meter adapter that I just snugged in there to close off the, because normally you can just see right through this bit here. I want it to look more like a heat shield, so stuffed in that little bit there. You don't actually need heat shields in this game, they're just good visual effects if you have them. There's a couple mods you can get that will make heat shields actually useful. Don't think this particular part counts for one, though. Should start encountering the upper atmosphere here soon. I should have definitely put the... No, I don't want the lights, I want the pressure gauge. Where's my barometer? Where's my barometer? No, that's definitely not the barometer. Right, so we are definitely in the upper atmosphere now, as that temperature reading told us. Pressure data? Yes. Hopefully my antenna will not snap off from the air, though I do have an extra one just in case that does happen. Alright, good to go, and I'm going to avoid transmitting any more data for now because I'm afraid we are coming down facing away from the sun, so the few solar panels that are snugged in on the rover can't generate any power until we ditch the heat shield here. There we go, getting some nice re-entry effects now. And fingers crossed we don't hit any of those lakes either. So this would put a pretty quick damper on our plans for landing a rover. Glad we still have some power. I had to put in a little control there. Eve has the thickest atmosphere of any of the planets in the game that has a surface. Jewel has a much denser atmosphere, but you can't land on Jewel anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. That's the gas giant in the outer parts of the system. White hot heat shield now. Our speed is really dropping off. We're experiencing, what, 5 Gs there, I think? 1, 2... Yep, that was about 5 Gs of deceleration, so pretty harsh. Going to be subsonic in a moment here. Alright, yeah, I definitely want to ditch the heat shield before we hit the clouds, because I don't know what we'll see underneath it. So yeah, let's go ahead and bail on the heat shield. And pop the legs just in case we hit something before I see it. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to need to activate the engines for this descent, but we shall see. Looks like it's also going to be a bit of a chuggy landing. My game warning me that I'm losing my frame rate there. This is the first time I've landed on Eve since I installed the mod with clouds, so pretty curious as to what it's going to look like. Let's grab another mystery goo observation. Continuing to grab scientific data as we come down. So even though we're not going to be running any more missions, good to always have as much data as you can. Who knows, we might unlock a part we need to save some Kerbals later. Saving these two for once we get to the surface. Managed to get myself muted before I sneezed into the microphone there. Sorry about that. Don't know why I'm apologizing since I muted the sneeze, but eh. I have no idea how high up I am. Can't see the ground. Looking at the ground kills my frame rate. Oh no. Is that a lake? Uh-oh. No, hopefully that's the water and this is ground, because I think we're landing on this. Oh boy. No, I think it's just all water, isn't it? Nope, we have a surface here. Definitely a surface, because the service module just crashed over there. Oh, and the chute has deployed. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have just a nice, gentle touchdown on the parachute here, so we don't need these engines at all. Which is good. If this had been water, that would have meant we could fly away from it a little bit. Also means we can kind of pick our landing spot if we need to, if we're going to come down on a serious slope, which it looks like we might. I think we'll be okay. 4 legs, this should be stable enough. And here we go. Ooh. Okay, a little rougher than I meant it to be. Oh, I forgot to slow down the time warp. Everything intact? No broken wheels? Nice. Alright, let's do our ground-based science before we activate the rover. Observe the goo. Alright, so let's review our goo observations. You observe the goo. Transmit. That was a fancy one there. Still got plenty of power to transmit the other. You observe the goo. Try that again. I know it had a, it had flavor text the first time. Fine. Transmit data. There we go. Crushing pressure of the atmosphere is causing some of the materials to crystallize rapidly. Right. Hopefully we have enough power to transmit that as well. Yes? Transmit. There we go. Alright, that is all the science on board the lander section of this, and we are going to ditch it without using any of the fuel in this section of the lander. So much better landing than we had on Duna. Let's go ahead and Activate the brakes. Stage. Bring in the landing legs on the rover. And turn off the brakes. Let's go exploring. Here we go. Ooh, this thing is just all over the place, isn't it? Oh dear. The rover is moving so fast that the solar panels immediately snapped off. Alright, so we're going to leave the other solar panel retracted until we stop this thing. That was... yikes. That tells you how thick the atmosphere here is if moving just a couple meters per second across the surface can completely shatter your solar panels. I'm not sure where we're going. That didn't break a wheel, did it? No. Haven't really seen anything interesting just yet. Getting a little bit of air there. Oof, that was a big bump. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find anything in this mist. Go check out that rock over there. Let's see what the map says. Is there anything interesting around here? No, lots of nothing. There's a lake if I really, really want to drive for a long time. But I kind of don't. So we're just going to park it over by this rock and call it a day for the rover mission. That's the big benefit of Eve rovers, is if you can get a parachute on them, you can pretty much get them to the ground. Can't get them off the ground ever again, but you know. See how different rocks look on Eve compared to Duna. Okay, I learned my lesson last time. I'm going to approach this little jolt here nice and gently. There we go. I can't believe that solar panel just shattered like that. Right, we're almost a kilometer from our landing stage. Any more temperature data I can get? No. Might as well keep it. Can't see much of anything through the clouds. Alright, so our rocks on Eve as see-through as the ones on Duna. Yep, just go right on through it. Doesn't stop you at all. That seems like a good spot to leave this little guy. Going to extend up his solar panel so he doesn't run out of power just in case at some point we need to come back to him. And extend an antenna just for looks. And let's see what the pressure data says. Atmosphere is very dense at the surface. It crushes down on the instrumentation, and already got all the science out of that I could. So, here we are. Rover landed on Duna, or on Eve and Duna. Got one there as well. Has several more solar panels than that one on Eve now. We have a ton of money for doing that. You've successfully explored Eve. Discard. Transmit data from the surface. Land on Eve. Transmit data from space. Achieve orbit. Excellent. Okay, so let's see what our other mission is up to.